Okay, here we go. It's the one and only, the real homie, if you really know me. And as promised, man, we're gonna start this Friday Night Vibe 2025 kickoff a little early, only to give you some context. You know what I mean? Some preface, some pre-story, some backdrop, some backstory, some episode one about why it is I'm doing what I'm doing now. And even before that, how I became who I became and the impact that, the record book has shown, it did have, and it still continues to have, respectfully and from a place of humility, on Bay Area hip hop. So that's the first thing, right? The second thing is, more music is coming, definitely. But we're bigger than the art form at this point, man. A lot of us, and it's only right for me to expand on what I'm rapping about, beyond what I'm rapping about. You know what I mean? So, okay. All of that said, well, what are these next few pieces of content about? It's really just about how did I become T Cash, right? And I think the first place to start is, how did I become a rapper? I never became a rapper. You know what I mean? I wanted to become a Bay Area rapper. That's different. You feel me? That's different from what people were trying to be, before our official Renaissance period, which was arguably, but agreed on, ultimately the mid 90s. So me, honestly, rap, hip hop, it started out, it was early. I would say third grade, man. Like, I remember, I'm from Oakland, but before we settled in on 37th Street, we stayed in Berkeley. We stayed two spots in Berkeley, and then anyway, we ended up moving to 37th Street in North Oakland. Well, right at the end of North Oakland, where North Oakland and West Oakland intersect. But anyway, I was all around North Oakland. The point is, I became a rapper because I was infatuated with the art form at a young age, fourth grade to be exact. I went to Emerson Elementary School, and I went to Emerson Elementary School with my homeboy, Little Marcus. Little Marcus is the younger brother of underrated, overlooked, but definitely historical context providing artist from Oakland named Mac Lou. He had two releases. The first one is called Living Up to My Rep, and the second one was called Music for the Late Night. So that said, me and Lil Marcus, we went to Emerson Elementary School, and we were in the fourth grade, and our teacher's name was Mr. Hobbs. Mr. Hobbs, I don't know how he did it or how the principal did it, but they had Channel 4, KRON TV from San Francisco come to our school because it was something about like the Golden Gate Bridge. And the Golden Gate Bridge is like anniversary or some shit. I don't know. Anyway, me and Lil Marcus wrote a rap about the Golden Gate Bridge. And he did the beatboxing part and I did the rapping part. And the rap was kind of corny. So I'm gonna say it, but like, don't laugh. Okay, you can laugh, but it said, like Clint Eastwood on Heartbreak Ridge, Golden Gate is the freshest bridge. You know what I'm saying? That's the only part I remember at this point. You know what I mean? But the reason why I bring that up is because I believe if anybody has that footage, that is the very first archived rap. God damn, my bad. That is the very first archived rap that I said, as far as like a Bay Area rap. You know what I mean? I was rapping about the Golden Gate Bridge. You know what I'm talking about? So that happened. And even before that, you know what I mean? Even before that, I had an infatuation with music, hip hop. It was a lot of it to do with when I was a kid, we would go to, well, first of all, let me back up. A lot of it had to do with my older sister and a lot of older siblings. On my father's side, extended family in North Oakland, 43rd Street, but also in San Francisco, in the Fillmore district. My auntie stayed there. And she stayed in Freedom West projects, and we used to go there all the time, man. And my older cousin Naima, she had a lot of friends in the neighborhood, and this was like the late 80s, mid 80s, late 80s. We would have these house parties, man, and they would play like UTFO, Roxanne. Um, they would play the Pee Wee Herman rock. Remember that? Do the Pee Wee Herman rock now. They would play. Um, they would play more UTFO. You cold wanna be with me is true because you didn't. If you didn't, I'll because if you didn't, I wouldn't be next to you. So stuff like that. Audio 2, I don't care. Milk, it helps me grow and think like a champ. Suckers are vamp. Soggy MCs will always stay damp. Um, stuff like that, man. Curtis Blow, all that. Even with all of that, though, I never wanted to be a rapper from New York. You know what I mean? I, the connotations that I got from hip hop at the time were, it was a joyous, festive art form, but it impacted me as I was in the Bay Area. So in the same way, I just knew that these dudes were rappers and they rapped about stuff. I wanted to rap about stuff. And I wasn't in New York. I wasn't in Los Angeles. I wasn't down south. I wanted to rap about what I saw, coming up. So anyway, I didn't necessarily like rap to people, but I was down with the cause, man, down with the culture. So fast forward a little bit, the 5th grade is really where things got a little spicy, and we'll talk about this in 2025 at length. But the short version is, my parents split up in 2020, excuse me, not 2024, what the fuck, in 1989. And it was after a long stint. Both of my parents, I love them dearly, but they will tell you themselves, both of them did drugs. And it was the mid late 80s, early 90s, West Coast, Bay Area. It was Oakland, and crack. You know what I'm saying? Like who wasn't affected by, if you weren't impacted by the crack era in at that time coming up in Oakland, in the Bay Area, stop lying. If you stop lying, So anyway, my parents were impacted. My parents split up, and that led to me, my mom, and my sister. God bless her soul. She passed away a few years ago. We ended up moving. We stayed in the Fillmore with my auntie for a minute. We stayed in Sacramento in the Delta with my grandmother, my mother's side, for a minute. But we ended up ultimately relocating back to Oakland in Funktown. And in the apartment complex, I had some homies. I had my sister, my older sister, and everybody listened to what was happening at the time, in as far as the local scene. And it wasn't, it wasn't NWA like that, because they had just broke up. And New York was, it was always New York. So a lot of the stuff that I listened to or I heard about, it was local music, So by the time I started junior high school, I went to Carter Middle School. In North Oakland. It's where the international school is now, right there. So that's like 46 and Webster, right? You know where the McDonald's is, right there? So right behind that big field and all of that used to be a middle school, Verdice E. Carter Middle School. It used to be called Woodrow Wilson, but that's a whole nother story. My auntie Stephanie, God bless her soul, and my auntie Polk and everybody, they went to Woodrow Wilson. Me and my cousin Junie, God bless his soul, we went to Carter. And fun fact, my other cousin, extended family, Do Damage, he went to Carter. So we all went to Carter, man. And early 90s middle school, you want to be down and tough, man. You want to be with, what everybody else is with. And at that time, what motherfuckers wasn't with, some, underground backpack New York shit. We just wasn't, listen up. I'm about to get dope. It ain't nothing but some shit I wrote about a young brother deep in the game. They call me Mac Dre, and I'm keeping the name. I sport Nike. Anyway, that's what people were on when I was in the 7th grade, 8th grade. Me and my sister, we used to listen to the radio at night. It was a radio show called the 9 o'clock beat. And check this out. Before I knew about KPFA and CalX, it was 2 radio stations, right, that I think a lot of us grew up on and probably don't want to admit it. With respect to KZSU, these college radio, independent broadcast journalism. You know what I mean? We listened to two stations primarily, at least where I'm at, where I'm from. And at that time, it was KSOL 107.7. That used to be originally KSOL. It turned into Wild 107, which essentially they shifted frequencies to Wild 94.9. That's Wild 94.9, what you listen to today. But before Wild 94.9 was not 94.9, it was Wild 107. And it was and before it was Wild 107, it was KSOL. So it was a show called the 9 o'clock beat. And the 9 o'clock beat, people would call in and request what they wanted to hear, and then it would get played. Like the first part of it was people calling in and requesting stuff, and then it got played. So some of the songs that stand out to me that I'm always remember, because man, number one, core memories, but that shit was tight, man. Mac Dre, Too Hard for the Radio, Action Pack Gangsters, APG. Shout out stinking ass True Justice. You know what I mean? That's a long story, man. You talk about, full circle, but we'll get there. Shout out to my brother True Justice. He was a original backup dancer for APG. A lot of people don't know that. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers be talking shit, but give that man his flowers, man. He came a long way. So, I Call Your Name by Dangerous Dame, Too Short, all type of different songs, man. 415, MC Pooh. But the list goes on and on. Here's what I'm trying to say, though. At no point in time did I experience hip hop without a Bay Area overtone to it. So there was never a time where it was just New York. It was just LA. It always was either overshadowed by or underscored by a presence of Bay Area rappers. That being said, I really wanted to be a Bay Area rapper then, because I had other Bay Area rappers, to look at as a guidepost. Here's what I can share with you just for right now, and then I think I'm gonna stop here, and then we'll get into like part 2 or whatever. However many parts it takes. We'll do that. You know what I mean? So yeah, 7th grade. I think maybe 6th grade, 7th grade. You know what I'm saying? My cousin Junie from North Oakland. A lot of people knew him as Lil Junie. Avery Washington, God bless his soul. We're gonna get into all of this as far as like North Oakland. How are you from North Oakland, bro? I ain't never seen you. I never heard of you. Okay, whatever. We'll talk about that. But the bottom line is, me and my cousin Junie, my mom used to drop me off over my grandmother's house in North Oakland at Mama's, and she would watch us, and my mom would, I don't know, work or go to the club, I don't know. And it was me, it was Junie, it was my other cousin Tasha, still alive, and my other cousin no, it wasn't my other cousin. They wasn't there. That was a whole nother family. My bad. Okay. It was me, it was my sister, and it was my cousin Tasha, and it was Junie. And we would just sit around and listen to music, But me and Junie used to try to rap. And we would write raps. And like, okay, you're going to say your part, and I'm going to say my part. Why did I sit there and write the DOC? Remember the DOC? I used to take his raps from like that one album he made, No One Can Do It Better. And I was like, that's my rap. And I didn't know, I felt like at the time I didn't feel no type of way. But then when I think about it, like, damn, I was straight cheating in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But humble beginnings. I didn't want to be a LA rapper. I just thought like, this is my chance to write a rap. I'm from the Bay Area. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to be a Bay Area rapper like this. So I think we'll stop there. I think next up we'll talk about talent shows in middle school. A couple of folks that I went to middle school and high school with that are well-known artists now. Some of them are not, and they needed to be, and it just never happened. You know what I mean? And that's okay. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, this episode 1 is not done. It's going to be a few of them, but we'll get into the name T-Cash at some point, but not right now. Let's just talk about, let's stick with that for right now. So that is just a little slice of how I became a rapper, right? All right. Okay.